Today we're departing from some of those classic Canadian lobster recipes that we all love and adore. Today we're going to be doing a whole roasted lobster, and it's going to be with a beautiful fresh slaw, and it's all going to be flavored with fish sauce and lime and some Thai chilies. It's going to be fresh, it's going to be easy, and it's going to be delicious. Here we are on our last installment of our trio of videos that we've done on Canadian lobster. And today we're working actually with a product that a lot of us probably have never heard of and have never seen, but it's actually one of my favorite products. This is HPP Lobster. And you may ask yourself, what is HPP Lobster? It basically is high pressure processed lobster. And I have I'm lucky enough to have some here today, this beautiful product. It's actually raw lobster meat that has been shot out of its shell, because when it goes into the high pressure chamber, the chamber is really, really cold, so the meat contracts, and then basically the pressure shoots it out of the shell. So you're left with this beautiful succulent product of raw lobster meat, which most of us actually aren't able to get unless we have a live lobster. And what we're gonna do with this today is we're just gonna roast it simply in the oven with a beautiful vinaigrette that we have that's gonna have some soy and some fish sauce and some lime in there. But I'm just gonna basically show you how easy it is to just pull this beautiful meat, this beautiful raw lobster meat. And what's really great about this is, as much as I love already processed frozen lobster, which is also amazing, this is sort of like the creme de la creme of the lobster world for me. When you cook it, it just has that beautiful sweet succulence. There's no waste, and it's so easy because you don't have to boil your lobsters, you don't have to even worry about it. If you can't find these, of course, you can always get these. These are actually previously frozen raw lobster tails, and these are also very readily available at the grocery store at your fishmongers. So we're gonna basically do this preparation using the HPP. You can do the exact same thing using the raw lobster tails. But the first thing that we have to do is make our vinaigrette. This vinaigrette is super easy. I use it in lots of preparations at home and at work. And the beauty is we're gonna pour a little bit on the lobster, throw it in the oven to roast, and then we're gonna use it to actually dress the slaw that's gonna go on top. We're gonna begin. I've got some fish sauce, which is one of my favorite things. It's got that little bit of funk and the little bit of salt that we need for this. So I'm gonna put some of that in my bowl. A little bit of rice wine vinegar or mirin. I actually like mirin sometimes because it's a little bit sweeter than the rice wine vinegar. But if you want to add a little bit of sweetness, you can always put a little bit of sugar to this, or a little bit of palm sugar. So I'm going to add some of that in there as well. A little bit of soy sauce. Also salty, so just be very careful. I'm going to add some sesame oil. Sesame oil, I find, just gives it that really beautiful richness. It's got that beautiful toasted flavor to it. My sesame oil in there. I've also toasted some sesame seeds. We're gonna throw some of these into our slaw as well. A few of those in there. Lime juice. I love the acidity of the lime. I'm gonna throw that right in there. That's a nice acidic component to our vinaigrette. I'm gonna throw some garlic in there. And I like to do mine on my microplane. That way I don't get any large chunks. And last but not least, if you're like me and you like a little bit of heat, I'm gonna put a little bit of Thai red chili right into my vinaigrette. You may be asking yourself, you know, this is a very different sort of preparation for lobster. We're all used to sort of the cream and the white wine and the richness, but this is actually brightens it up, and it just showcases the beautiful sort of like sweetness of Canadian lobster meat. Now that I've mixed this all together, all I'm gonna do is put a little bit on top of my lobster that I've pulled out of the shell. And then I'm gonna put it in a 425-degree oven. And that's it. That's as simple as it is. And while this is roasting in the oven, I'm going to dress the slaw that's going to go on top. The lobsters are roasting in the oven, so I said it'd take about 7 to 10 minutes. And what we're going to do now is we're going to dress our slaw that's going to go on top of our lobster. Super fresh, a really far cry from all the other recipes that we've done that have like cream and the white wine that are very rich. This is very light. What I've done is on my trusty Ben Rinner here, if you have one of these at home, be careful. I've julienned some daikon, some beautiful watermelon radish, carrot, I have cucumber, I have some scallion in here. You can do whatever you like in here, but I like sort of the crunchiness and the freshness of the carrots and the daikon. You could put like regular radish in there. I've even done like pears and apples. So all I'm gonna do now is take some of the vinaigrette that's left. I'm gonna pour it right on top of our salad. And I'm gonna actually season this with a little bit of salt. But like I said, be careful because the sesame, or the soy and the fish sauce both have quite a bit of salt. I'm gonna add a little bit of cilantro in there. I'm just gonna basically break it right up. And a few more of our toasted sesame seeds. All I'm gonna do now is mix it up. You could have all your vegetables julienned ahead of time. That way, if you're having company over, all you have to do is dress it and mix it while the lobsters are in the oven. This is so simple, and you can have it as a main course, you can have it as an appetizer. We have this mixed. I'm gonna get my lobsters and we're gonna finish our dish. I know for me, half is more than enough, so I'm gonna place one of these beautiful halves on my plate. And all I want to do now is I'm going to give a little squeeze of fresh lime juice right on top. I am going to season it with just a little bit of salt because we didn't season it before it went into the oven. And now I'm just going to dress it with this beautiful fresh slaw that we made. Just a little bit goes a long way. This is just such a beautiful, fresh, nice dish. It is a true crowd pleaser. I'm also going to add a little bit more fresh cilantro on top. I wish you could smell this because it does smell delicious. A few more of our toasted sesame seeds. These are deep fried shallots. I wish I could say that I made them myself, but I buy them at a store here in Dartmouth. And if you wanted to be really crazy and you really like spice, you could add even a little bit more Thai chili. This is our roasted Canadian lobster, fresh, succulent, super easy, and I really hope that you try this recipe because I know for me, it's a fan favorite here at home.